The valley of Elah unfolds, a parched expanse dividing two armies in silent dread. Israelite soldiers gather, their eyes betraying fear as they survey the Philistine camp. Doubt etches deep lines into the faces of the Israelite soldiers. The Israelite soldiers cast fearful glances across the valley toward the Philistine camp. The dry expanse of the valley amplifies the tension, a silent battleground awaiting its spark. A palpable sense of foreboding hangs heavy among the ranks of the Israelite army. Inside the Israelite tent, a palpable gloom hangs heavy as King Saul broods, his face a canvas of despair. His advisors huddle nearby, their hushed voices weaving strategies that lack the spark of confidence. The tent is dim, shadows dancing with the whispers of doubt and uncertainty. Saul's gaze is fixed and distant, lost in thought as he contemplates the weight of his crown. The air is thick with unspoken fears, the fate of the kingdom hanging precariously. Goliath, a giant clad in formidable armor, dominates the Philistine camp, his presence commanding the scene. The Philistine soldiers, dwarfed by his massive size, erupt in cheers, their voices echoing through the camp. Goliath strides forward, his every step resonating with unmatched strength, stirring the hearts of his comrades. A wave of awe sweeps through the camp as the soldiers celebrate the might of their champion. In the valley of Elah, Goliath advances, his gigantic form casting a long, ominous shadow. The earth trembles under his feet, and the air stills as even the birds cease their songs. He surveys the silent, assembled armies of Israel, his presence a palpable threat. Goliath's voice echoes through the valley. "I defy the armies of Israel this day. Give me a man that we may fight together." His challenge hangs in the air, unanswered, as fear grips the hearts of the Israelite soldiers. The valley holds its breath, awaiting a champion to rise against the towering giant. Inside the Israelite tent, fear takes hold as Saul recoils, his courage faltering. Silence hangs heavy as Goliath's challenge echoes, unanswered and daunting. Despair permeates the tent, casting a pall over the Israelite warriors. The weight of Goliath's threat crushes their spirits, leaving them paralyzed with dread. Under the vast sky near Bethlehem, the hills come alive as David, a young shepherd, watches over his flock. The sheep graze peacefully, each step measured and calm, as though dancing to the rhythm of an unheard melody. Bathed in the golden sunlight, David's face radiates a serene calm, reflecting the tranquility of his surroundings. His fingers dance across the strings of his harp, weaving a soothing melody that carries through the hills. Each note resonates with the gentle breeze, creating a symphony of nature and music that echoes through the valley. The landscape listens, silent and still, as David's song fills the air with peace and harmony. Sunlight floods the room as Jesse stands resolute, casting a warm glow on his determined face. Jesse turns, his gaze meeting David's, a silent promise passing between father and son. "Take these provisions to your brothers at the army camp," Jesse commands, his voice firm with purpose. The weight of responsibility settles on David as he accepts the provisions, his young hands steady. A father's hope and a son's courage intertwine in this moment of farewell. Under the watchful sun, David turns away, and the provisions are now his responsibility. In the valley of Elah, a palpable sense of dread hangs heavy as David arrives. The Israelite camp buzzes with fear, a stark contrast to the serene valley. David pauses, sensing the deep trepidation permeating the air. The weight of the Israelites' fear settles upon David. David surveys the sprawling Israelite camp, his young eyes wide with disbelief. Goliath's voice reverberates through the valley, each taunt striking the Israelite soldiers. The Israelite soldiers stand frozen, their faces etched with fear. A wave of shock washes over David, struggling to comprehend their paralysis. Under the harsh glare of the sun, the valley of Elah becomes a stage for an impending clash, armies poised for battle. Amidst the towering ranks of soldiers, a young David emerges, his gaze unwavering as he approaches an Israelite soldier, determination etched on his face. David's youthful voice cuts through the tense silence, challenging the defiance of the Philistine giant. "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine, that he should defy the armies of the living God?" The Israelite soldier turns a mix of surprise and curiosity on his face as he listens to David's bold challenge. The sunlight glints off David's determined eyes, a stark contrast to the grim anticipation etched on the faces of the seasoned warriors around him. In the Israelite tent, David is escorted before King Saul, their meeting charged with destiny. Saul observes David with skepticism, his gaze filled with doubt. Saul's voice echoes with disbelief. "You are but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth." David stands tall, facing Saul directly, his resolve unwavering in the face of doubt. Saul continues to scrutinize the young David, his skepticism deepening. The tension in the tent is palpable, as David and Saul remain locked in a silent battle of wills. Sunlight pierces through the tent flaps, casting an ethereal glow. Young David stands tall, his face set with unwavering resolve. His voice rings with unwavering faith. "The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine." David's eyes reflect an unshakable belief in divine protection. The tent seems to hold its breath, hanging on David's every word. Inside the Israelite tent, Saul gestures expansively, his face radiant with admiration. He presents his gleaming armor, a king's blessing offered to a humble shepherd. "Wear my armor, young David. Go forth, and may the Lord be with you." David approaches the armor warily, his curiosity tempered with respect. "Thank you, your majesty." He lifts a breastplate, its weight a tangible symbol of the task ahead. In the valley of Elah, David refuses Saul's armor, a humble shepherd facing an impossible battle. He retrieves his staff, an emblem of his pastoral life, now a symbol of his courage. At the brook, he carefully chooses 5 smooth stones, each a silent promise of precision and intent. With deliberate care, David places the stones into his shepherd's bag, preparing for the coming confrontation. The bag hangs at his side, holding not just stones, but the hopes of a nation. In the valley of Elah, David advances, an unlikely figure against the vast landscape. Goliath looks down upon David, his face a mask of contempt. Goliath's booming voice shatters the silence. "Am I a dog, that you come to me with sticks?" David's resolve hardens under Goliath's scornful gaze. Goliath's laughter echoes, mocking the young challenger. The valley holds its breath as the confrontation intensifies. Under the radiant sun, the valley of Elah becomes a stage for destiny. A young shepherd, David, stands defiant, facing a heavily armed warrior. David's voice echoes through the valley. "You come to me with a sword, and with a spear, and with a shield. But I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied." His words hang in the air, challenging the warrior's might with unwavering faith. In the valley of Elah, David sprints with unwavering resolve toward the towering Goliath. David halts abruptly, his hand diving into his bag with purpose. His fingers close around a stone, a symbol of defiance against impossible odds. With practiced motion, David places the stone into his sling, preparing for the fateful throw. The sling whirls, gathering momentum as David prepares to unleash his strike. With a final surge of strength and faith, David hurls the stone toward Goliath. In the valley of Elah, the stone hurtles through the air, a deadly projectile aimed with precision. The stone finds its mark, striking Goliath squarely in the forehead with devastating force. Goliath stumbles, his massive frame faltering under the unexpected blow. With a thunderous crash, Goliath collapses to the ground. His reign of terror abruptly ended. Silence descends upon the valley as the giant lies motionless, the echo of his fall still reverberating. In the valley of Elah, David sprints, his determination a beacon of hope. He stands over the fallen Goliath. With a surge of strength, David raises Goliath's massive sword. David uses the giant's own weapon to end the battle. In the valley of Elah, the Philistine army witnesses the fall of their champion, Goliath. Panic erupts among the Philistine ranks as terror takes hold. Formations crumble as the soldiers turn and flee in disarray. The valley echoes with the sounds of chaos as the Philistine army scatters. In the valley of Elah, the Israelite soldiers, now driven by David's triumph, surge forward with unmatched zeal. The once daunted army transforms into a formidable force, crushing the Philistines underfoot. The Philistines, once a terror, now scatter in disarray, their lines broken and their morale shattered. The valley echoes with the sounds of battle, a symphony of victory for the Israelites. The Philistine army breaks into utter chaos, their weapons abandoned, their retreat a rout. The Israelite camp bursts alive with jubilant cries, a symphony of celebration resonating across the vast expanse. David, the hero, is lifted high on the shoulders of the rejoicing soldiers, a beacon of triumph in the heart of the camp. The crowd surges around David, their elation palpable as they hoist him higher, the air thick with unrestrained joy. Banners flutter wildly in the wind, their vibrant colors painting a vivid tableau of victory against the backdrop of the celebrating army. The camp vibrates with the stirring sounds of trumpets and drums, their triumphant rhythm fueling the fervor of the celebration. The very air crackles with energy as the Israelites celebrate their hard-won triumph, their voices blending into a powerful chorus of victory. Inside the Israelite tent, a palpable sense of relief fills the air as Saul embraces David. Saul's face reflects admiration for David's unwavering courage. Saul acknowledges David's bravery and steadfast faith. Saul's expression softens, a hint of gratitude shining through. David remains still in Saul's embrace, a humble acceptance in his eyes. A shared moment of mutual respect solidifies between them. In the valley of Elah, the air vibrates with victorious cheers, a symphony of triumph echoing through the land. Gleaming swords and shields are scattered, reflecting the sunlight like fallen stars, each a silent witness to the valor displayed. Triumphant banners of the Israelite tribes flutter high, their colors bold against the azure sky, symbols of unity and hard-won freedom. The valley, once a battlefield, now breathes with the collective pride of a people united, their spirits soaring as high as their banners. Each cheer is a testament to their resolve, each banner a promise of a future secured by courage and faith. The valley of Elah transforms into a sanctuary of celebration, where the echoes of battle fade into a chorus of jubilation and hope. David ascends the hills, a solitary figure returning to his flock under the vast, open sky. Gratitude washes over David as he surveys the serene landscape, his heart swelling with humility. The gentle bleating of sheep welcomes David, their soft sounds a comforting symphony. David approaches his flock, his steps measured and thoughtful as he rejoins his pastoral life. He pauses, a moment of quiet reflection as he watches over his sheep, the shepherd returning to his fold. As the sun bathes the hills in golden light, David kneels, his heart overflowing with thankfulness for his humble life. The village square bursts into life under the sun, a kaleidoscope of color and sound. The air vibrates with the joyous abandon of singing and dancing, a celebration of bravery and triumph. Their voices unite in a powerful chorus, echoing through the village. Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands. Laughter and music intertwine, creating a vibrant tapestry of communal joy and shared victory. In the grand hall of Saul's palace, flickering candlelight dances across Saul's face as he sits on his throne, a study in regal authority. David strums his harp, filling the court with music. Saul's eyes narrow as the crowd erupts in cheers. The cheers grow louder, and Saul's expression darkens, jealousy twisting his features. A dark suspicion takes root in Saul's heart, poisoning his thoughts against David. Amidst the chaos of the battlefield, David emerges as a symbol of bravery and tactical genius, his every move a testament to his growing prowess. The battlefield resonates with the deafening sounds of clashing steel as the Israelite army claims victory after victory. Each triumph etches David's name deeper into the annals of history, solidifying his reputation as a formidable warrior and leader. The dust begins to settle, revealing the scope of the Israelite army's monumental success. The air clears to reveal the full extent of the Israelite army's overwhelming triumph, marking a definitive moment in their campaign. Within the opulent confines of Saul's palace, flickering torchlight casts ominous shadows, hinting at the turmoil about to unfold. Saul's eyes burn with a dark rage as he prepares to strike, his intent as sharp as the spear in his hand. With a sudden burst of fury, Saul lunges, the spear aimed directly at David. David, alert and agile, anticipates the deadly attack, his reflexes honed to perfection. In a graceful evasion, David dodges the thrust, the spear whistling past him, a hair's breadth from his body. Under the cloak of night, David flees into the wilderness, a solitary figure against the vast expanse. The moon casts haunting shadows, turning the familiar landscape into a maze of fear and uncertainty. His breath mists in the cold air, each gasp a testament to his desperate flight from Saul. The wilderness echoes with the rustling of leaves and the distant howls, nature bearing witness to his plight. Within the cavernous depths, David and his steadfast followers seek refuge. The harsh stone walls their only shield against the encroaching night and the persistent threat of Saul. Flickering torchlight casts eerie shadows that dance across the cave walls, illuminating the weariness etched deeply into their faces. The rough stone of the cave offers scant comfort as the chill of the night seeps into their bones, a constant reminder of their vulnerability. Each flicker of the torch heightens the tension, painting a vivid tableau of desperation and resilience. Their eyes reflect a haunting blend of fear and determination, mirroring the precariousness of their situation. The silence of the cave is broken only by the crackling fire, each pop a stark reminder of the dangers lurking just beyond the entrance. Beneath the relentless sun, David and his men trudge wearily through the arid desert, their figures mere specks against the vast, unforgiving landscape. Thirst and hunger begin to take their toll, etched deeply into their faces. The air crackles with an almost tangible sense of danger, each shadow holding the potential for deadly encounters. They continue their desperate trek, driven onward by a faint glimmer of hope against the backdrop of despair. Deep within the En-Gedi cave, shadows dance as sunlight barely penetrates the entrance. Hidden among the rocks, David and his men watch Saul as he unknowingly steps into their lair. Saul enters the cave alone, his vulnerability amplified by the silence and the unknown. Unaware of the danger, Saul finds a secluded spot, his actions shadowed by the lurking presence of David and his men. Beneath the vast, moonlit sky, the wind carries secrets through the tall grass of the hilltop. David stands alone, a solitary figure silhouetted against the radiant moon, poised to defy the silence. His voice, amplified by the night, cuts through the stillness. Saul, the echo of his defiance reverberates across the landscape, challenging the night's tranquility. Under the wavering torchlight, Saul sits, the heavy crown amplifying his weariness. Saul's gaze shifts to David, a complex mix of regret and respect swirling in his eyes. Saul's voice fills the night, tinged with remorse. "You are more righteous than I, David. You have repaid good for evil." A somber acceptance colors Saul's tone as he acknowledges, "I know that you shall surely be king, and that the kingdom of Israel shall be established in your hand." Saul's eyes harden. He demands, "Swear now to me, by the Lord, that you will not cut off my offspring after me, and that you will not destroy my name out of my father's house." The torchlight flickers, casting dancing shadows that mirror the shifting loyalties and solemn oaths exchanged in the camp. On the war-torn battlefield, the Philistines regroup, a relentless tide of armored soldiers readying for another assault. Their banners, emblazoned with a likeness of fierce deities, flutter ominously, casting a shadow over the impending conflict. The ground vibrates with the inexorable march of countless feet, a prelude to the storm of steel about to erupt. A cacophony of war drums and guttural cries echoes across the field, a chilling symphony of impending doom. Mount Gilboa becomes a stage for death as warriors clash in a brutal struggle. The ground is soaked with blood as the battle intensifies. Steel clashes against steel. Hope fades as the sun beats down on the carnage. The mountain echoes with the cries of the fallen. On Mount Gilboa, the echoes of a brutal battle linger as Saul, the wounded king, surveys the chaos around him. His weary gaze darts nervously, the specter of Philistine capture looming large. The air vibrates with the harsh sounds of war, a symphony of clashing steel and the anguished cries of the fallen. Every breath is a reminder of his desperate plight, as the threat of capture tightens its grip. The relentless sun blazes over Mount Gilboa, casting long shadows across its rugged terrain. Saul, a king reduced to tatters, stands as a haunting echo of his former glory. His armor, once gleaming, now bears the grim testament of battles fought and lost. The distant war cries of the approaching enemy reverberate through the desolate hills, signaling the end. Saul's figure, silhouetted against the harsh sunlight, embodies the tragic fall from power. The final act unfolds, a tableau of despair and encroaching doom on the slopes of Mount Gilboa. The battlefield stretches out, a canvas of defeat, where the Israelite army lies broken, their banners reduced to mere rags underfoot. Amidst the desolation, Philistine soldiers revel in their triumph, their victory cries piercing the silent aftermath. The banners of the Israelites lie trampled, a stark symbol of their shattered hopes and dreams. The desolate landscape amplifies the echo of victory, a haunting testament to the day's brutal outcome. Weary, dust-covered figures of David and his men trudge towards the horizon, their journey nearing its end. As they crest the hill, a horrifying sight unfolds. Ziklag, their home, is now a smoldering ruin beneath a sky choked with smoke. The air burns with the acrid stench of ash, a grim testament to the brutal raid that has decimated Ziklag. Charred timbers and skeletal remains are all that is left of Ziklag. The Amalekites have left nothing but destruction in their wake, a landscape of despair. Despair hangs heavy in the air as David and his men survey the ravaged ruins of Ziklag. The silence is broken only by the occasional sob, a haunting reminder of their loss. Smoke rises from the charred remains, painting a stark picture of devastation. Amidst the desolation, David's face is a mask of grief and resolve. In the wilderness, David kneels on the parched earth, a solitary figure against the vast expanse. The sun scorches the land as he remains motionless, immersed in silent prayer, his form casting long shadows. Rising with newfound resolve, determination hardens his features as he prepares to face the unknown. Scanning the horizon, David strides forward with purpose, following a faint trail into the desolate landscape. The battlefield is a scene of desolation, marked by the remnants of the defeated Amalekites. Amidst the carnage, David and his men stand tall, their expressions a mixture of relief and grim satisfaction. Victorious but weary, they begin the somber task of gathering their recovered families. The reunion is bittersweet as they collect their possessions, reminders of what was nearly lost. As the sun sets on the ravaged landscape, David surveys the scene, aware of the cost of victory and the preciousness of what remains. Under the scorching sun, the tribe of Judah assembles in Hebron, a palpable sense of expectation permeating the air. A hush falls over the crowd as the anointing ceremony commences, marking a pivotal moment in their history. With solemn reverence, they anoint David, the chosen one, as their king, bestowing upon him the symbols of power and responsibility. David rises, now king, as the tribe of Judah erupts in cheers, their voices echoing through the land. David, the newly crowned king, stands tall in the throne room, his gaze firm with resolve. The throne room pulses with activity as advisors strategize and loyal subjects offer their respects. Whispers of strategy fill the air as David prepares to unify the tribes of Israel. Loyal subjects kneel before David, their heads bowed in reverence. David, a beacon of resolve, advances with his army, the ancient city of Jerusalem looming in the distance, a testament to history and challenge. The clash of steel and cries of battle echo as David's forces engage, their determination unwavering against Jerusalem's formidable defenses. Jerusalem succumbs to David's might. A triumphant victory heralds a new chapter in the city's storied existence. The Israelite flag ascends, a symbol of sovereignty, as Jerusalem is declared the eternal capital of Israel. Jerusalem emerges as the heart of a new kingdom, prosperity blooming under David's reign. The city pulses with newfound life, its streets bustling with commerce and celebration. Peace settles upon the land, echoing in the laughter of children and the songs of the people. Under David's wise guidance, the kingdom thrives, its borders secure and its people united. Jerusalem shines as a beacon of hope, its golden age dawning under a just and benevolent king. Sunlight bathes David's palace, where David, a figure of strength, paces with purpose. He halts, gazing out at the city, a resolve hardening his features. David speaks, his voice echoing in the grand hall. "I have been dwelling in a house of cedar, while the ark of God dwells in a tent." Nathan replies, "Go, do all that is in your heart, for the Lord is with you." Nathan's tone shifts. "But then the word of the Lord came to me, saying, 'You are not the one to build me a house to dwell in. Your son, who is to be born to you, he shall build the house for my name.'" Amidst the chaos of the battlefield, David leads the Israelite army, his presence a beacon of unwavering resolve. Victories mount as the borders of David's kingdom expand, each triumph etched in blood and glory. The clash of steel and the cries of warriors fill the air, a symphony of war under David's command. With each victory, David's legend grows, his name echoing through the ages as a warrior and king. Within the opulent palace, candlelight dances across the walls, casting long shadows that conceal a king's secret. In a realm of forbidden desires, David and Bathsheba embrace, their illicit affair blossoming amidst the palace's grandeur. Swords clash under a merciless sun as warriors collide in a brutal dance of death. Amidst the chaos of battle, Uriah fights with unwavering loyalty, unaware of the king's treacherous plot. In a cruel twist of fate, Uriah is strategically positioned in harm's way, succumbing to a fatal blow as the battle rages on. Sunlight drenches David's palace, highlighting its opulent splendor as Nathan stands resolute before the king. A tense silence engulfs the room as David sits on his throne, his regal composure slowly cracking under Nathan's gaze. David's eyes betray a dawning realization as Nathan speaks, the weight of unspoken accusations heavy in the air. A flicker of remorse crosses David's face, his shoulders slumping as the truth hits home. In the grand palace, David kneels on the cold stone, his form a stark contrast to the opulent surroundings. Sunlight pierces through the high windows, revealing the despair etched deeply on David's face. Dust motes dance around him, each one a silent witness to his overwhelming grief. The weight of his sin presses down, suffocating him in the midst of his royal solitude. Within David's palace, a palpable tension suffocates the air, whispers weaving through the corridors like shadows. Absalom stands tall, ambition blazing in his eyes, a storm of defiance brewing within him. He prepares to challenge David's rule, a rebellious fire igniting that threatens to consume the kingdom. The first sparks of rebellion ignite, casting long shadows across the once peaceful kingdom. David's palace, once a symbol of unity, now stands on the precipice of division and war. The kingdom trembles as Absalom steps forward, his ambition threatening to tear the very fabric of David's reign. In the radiant light of day, Jerusalem stands as a silent witness to David's hurried flight. David continues his escape. Every step away from the city echoes the weight of Absalom's betrayal. The path stretches ahead, each mile a stark reminder of his kingdom now fractured by rebellion. Despite the weight on his shoulders, David's resolve remains unbroken, his spirit unbowed in the face of adversity. In Mahanaim, David stands tall among his devoted followers, their faces illuminated by the sun's golden light. A resolute air fills the ranks as they brace themselves for the imminent clash against Absalom. Sunlight dances across their determined faces, a testament to their unwavering commitment. Every motion deliberate, every preparation precise. They stand ready to face whatever lies ahead. In the heart of the forest of Ephraim, chaos erupts as David's army clashes with Absalom's forces. Steel clashes against steel, echoing through the ancient trees as the battle intensifies. The forest floor becomes a battleground, with soldiers locked in mortal combat. Amid the clash of arms, the fate of a kingdom hangs in the balance. The air vibrates with the sounds of war, the cries of men, and the thunder of hooves. Sunlight paints a mosaic on the forest floor, revealing the lifeless form of Absalom. A clearing is cast in sorrow as David appears, his face a canvas of raw grief. David collapses beside Absalom, his trembling hands reaching out in disbelief and despair. Absalom, my son, my son. David's heart shatters, a father's love undimmed by betrayal. David approaches Jerusalem, a city ready to embrace its returning king. The gates of Jerusalem open wide, heralding David's triumphant return. Cheers erupt as David is escorted to his throne, marking the restoration of his reign. Jerusalem rejoices, celebrating the return of their king with unbridled enthusiasm. David ascends to his throne, a beacon of hope and renewed leadership for Jerusalem. Within the opulent halls of David's palace, shadows lengthen as famine tightens its grip on the land. A silent dread settles over David as the specter of plague looms, casting a pall over his kingdom. Amidst the growing turmoil, David's resolve hardens as he confronts the dual threat of starvation and disease. The weight of his people's suffering bears down on David as he grapples with the burden of leadership in a time of unprecedented crisis. In the grand hall of David's palace, a deal is struck, the fate of Mount Moriah sealed with a king's decree. David's hand seals the contract. The deal is done. A sense of divine purpose ignites within him. His gaze hardens with resolve. On Mount Moriah, an altar will rise. He envisions the altar to the Lord. Within David's palace, a hive of activity unfolds as preparations for the temple's construction commence. David meticulously gathers materials, his discerning eye ensuring only the finest elements are chosen. He organizes the workforce, delegating tasks with a clear vision of the temple's future majesty. Each action resonates with the profound anticipation of bringing the temple to glorious realization. Within the radiant heart of David's palace, golden light bathes the scene as the aged king prepares to pass his legacy. Solomon stands before David, his eyes reflecting a mix of reverence and anticipation. David raises his hand, a gesture that stills the court and signals the transfer of power. His voice, a resonant echo of past triumphs, fills the hall as he speaks his solemn charge. I charge you, Solomon, my son, with the sacred duty of building the temple. The destiny of a kingdom and the weight of divine expectation settle upon Solomon's shoulders. Sunlight paints the grand palace of David in gold, dust motes suspended in illuminated silence. David, his face a map of time, gestures toward the sacred plans, his wisdom palpable. These are the plans for the temple, Solomon. Every measurement, every detail, divinely inspired. The intricate plans for the temple lie spread across the table, a testament to divine inspiration. More importantly, these are the principles by which you must govern: justice, mercy, and unwavering faith. Within David's majestic palace, sunlight bathes the aged king and the assembled leaders of Israel, the air thick with anticipation. David's voice echoes through the hall. My loyal friends, esteemed leaders of Israel, I have gathered you here today for a matter of great importance. His solemn declaration resonates. As you know, my time grows short. The mantle of leadership must pass to a worthy successor. A moment of destiny arrives as David proclaims, I have chosen Solomon, my son, to be your next king. He possesses wisdom, strength, and a deep love for our people. David implores with finality, I urge you, lend him your support, guide him with your counsel, and together we shall ensure a prosperous future for Israel. Golden sunlight bathes David's palace, illuminating the serene figure of the king as he prepares to sing. With eyes closed, David begins to sing, his aged voice filling the palace with a powerful psalm. My heart is steadfast. O God, my heart is steadfast. I will sing and make music. He sings, lost in devotion. I will praise you, O Lord, among the nations. I will sing of you among the peoples, David proclaims, his voice resonating with faith. Sunlight bathes David's palace as dust motes dance in the hallowed air. David, aged but regal, lays his hands upon Solomon, his son, in a solemn blessing. David closes his eyes, his lips moving in silent prayer, a conduit between realms. May the Almighty guide your hands, Solomon, in the building of his holy temple. May your wisdom and strength be sufficient for this sacred task." Sunlight bathes David's palace, casting a golden glow upon his assembled family and friends. A heavy silence blankets the room as David prepares to say his final goodbyes. Each face reflects a shared sorrow, a silent acknowledgement of the impending farewell. The weight of unspoken words hangs heavy in the air, a palpable sense of finality. In the radiant light of the palace, a moment of profound and heartfelt farewell unfolds. Sunlight filters through the palace windows, casting a golden glow upon the scene. In the grand bed, David lies peacefully, his face reflecting years of wisdom. Loved ones gather around David's bed, their faces etched with sorrow and serene acceptance. Each face tells a story of love, loss, and enduring respect. The air is thick with unspoken emotions, a quiet farewell to a revered leader. In this moment, the palace holds its breath, honoring a life lived with purpose. In Jerusalem, a somber day dawns as David is prepared for his final rest. The city echoes with sorrow as the procession begins, honoring David's life. A crowd gathers, their faces etched with grief, as David is lowered into the earth. The weight of loss hangs heavy as Jerusalem mourns its king, David. In the heart of Solomon's palace, the grand hall pulsates with anticipation as Solomon prepares to ascend the throne. Solomon ascends, his presence radiating wisdom and resolve. Courtiers murmur, their eyes fixed on Solomon, the new king. He sits on the throne, his every move deliberate and measured. Solomon commences his reign, following the instructions of his predecessor, David. Under the vast sky of Mount Moriah, Solomon, a figure of royal resolve, commences the temple's sacred construction. Workers, like ants, mobilize across the mountain, their diligent hands shaping stone and erecting scaffolding. The mountain echoes with the sounds of chisels and hammers, a symphony of labor that marks the dawn of a monumental vision. With each stone laid and beam raised, David's dream takes form, ascending toward the heavens as a testament to devotion and legacy. The temple, radiant with light, stands as a beacon of hope and devotion. Joyful faces fill the temple, reflecting the light of the Lord. Celebrations erupt, filling the sacred space with echoes of joy and gratitude. The air vibrates with the collective spirit of dedication, binding hearts in unity. The temple's completion marks a new chapter, its foundation rooted in faith and community. The temple stands as a testament to unwavering faith, its doors open to all who seek solace. Jerusalem basks in the radiant sun, its golden rooftops gleaming with wealth and promise. The marketplaces buzz with life, a vibrant testament to Solomon's prosperous reign. Each stone and spire whispers tales of wisdom and unity, reflecting the kingdom's golden age. The sun casts long shadows that dance across the city, revealing the heart of Israel. Under Solomon's wise rule, peace flourishes, ensuring prosperity for all. Jerusalem stands as a beacon of hope, its golden light illuminating a path to a brighter future. Jerusalem unfolds in radiant glory, bathed in the sun's golden embrace. The ancient city whispers tales of unwavering faith and timeless devotion. Sacred sites rise, bearing witness to centuries of prayers and prophecies. The air is still, filled with echoes of kings and the legacy of David. Each stone breathes with history, resonating with the courage of generations. David's legacy inspires, his devotion to God echoing through the ages.